Why the Chelsea revival begins now, who's got the best games in this double game week, and the key striker only 0.4% of you are picking. This is the Fantasy Football Cheat Sheet, where we give you up-to-date injury news, predicted lineups, key fixture analysis, who to transfer in, and loads more, and all from official sources. And we're working from home now, which is easy for me as I've literally moved 2 yards from my bedroom. Before we continue, remember it's an all-important double game week. Pack your sides with players who play for sides who have 2 games. Not only that, but use your judgment on whether they'll actually play 2 games, or will they be rested for one of them. Of the teams playing twice, West Ham, Man City and Liverpool are the teams that we would recommend. As Kieran Trippier would say, lump on. The treatment room. What's the story ahead of game week 19 regards injury news? The big news out of City this week is that Sergio Aguero is self-isolating for likely 10 days. Although he's barely featured as of yet, we were licking our lips at the prospect of him starting in the next few games. It does, however, mean we could see KDB in his advanced false 9 role once again, despite him saying it was slightly surreal being that far forward. And also, it remains to be seen how Pep will use Jesus given City's form while he's been away. And the ever-improving partnership of Diaz and Stones will continue for a little while yet. Both Laporte and Ake remain out injured. Are they now the best central defensive partnership in the league? Let us know in the comments. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed Everton's game against Wolves on Tuesday. He's got a hamstring issue, and although deemed not serious, it's hard to see him returning for their sole fixture in game week 19. The positive news keeps on coming for Arsenal. Not only are Gabriel and Partey back in full training, but the live wire that is Martinelli is very close to a return as well. Although how does he fit into this current Arsenal side with the way that Saka and Smith Rowe are playing at the moment? One we missed off last week was a big blow for Crystal Palace. Jeff Schlupp has scored 2 goals for Palace in the last month, but he's now expected to have an extended spell on the sidelines. And finally, one of the most popular keepers this year, Alex McCarthy, should have completed his period of isolation by the weekend. And despite no news being released at the time of recording, we're very confident Che Adams will be back in action on Saturday as well. Southampton have Leicester and Leeds both away in game week 19. Key fixtures. Still not happy with that name. Need to get a better name for that. Let's pick apart 3 key games from game week 19. What are the numbers telling us? Who should we avoid? If we don't mention your club in this section, then stick around for our players to pick section, where we'll do our best to cover the other games where you can pick up some good points. Liverpool v Man United. This is the game of the season right here. Firstly, Liverpool have had 9 days rest compared to Man United's 5, which is huge given everything that's going on. Long gone are the days where United got all that extra time. Over the course of the last 10 game weeks, Man United have picked up 12 more points than Liverpool, suggesting Man United are the clear favourites. But Man United have only won once in the last 10 meetings between the sides. There's not usually many goals in this one either. There's been more than 2 goals in the game twice in the last 11. And that's mirrored when we look at the big players' records in this fixture as well. Salah 1 in 5, Mane 1 in 9, Martial 2 in 6, and the best of all is Rashford with 3 in 7. One player to redress Man United's form is Bruno. This will be the first time he comes up against Liverpool in his entire career. Overall, Liverpool's track record means they should edge this one, but either way, it's going to be an absolute belter. Fulham v Chelsea. Fulham have not beaten the Blues since early 2006, when Louis Boamorte stunned Mourinho's Chelsea. That's 19 games unbeaten for Chelsea, and Fulham's fixture rearrangement hasn't helped the camp either, on top of their recent postponements. Chelsea have won 1 in their last 6 and have lost against Everton, Wolves, Arsenal and Man City. Let's be frank, the pressure's on. This critical point in Chelsea's season coincides with their front three of Werner, Pulisic and Ziyech all being fit together. This is why the revival begins here. That front three started together in the league for the first time this season against Man City. Together in the 19-20 season, the trio scored 52 goals and racked up 44 assists. If Frank doesn't get something out of these in the near future, the alarm bells will be ringing even louder. But I believe in you, Frank. Sheffield United v Spurs. It's fill your boots time if you've got Spurs players heading into this one. It's as simple as this, one of the best goal differences in the league versus the second worst. Son and Kane have nearly 3 times more goals between them than Sheffield United have overall. The pair have nearly 40 goals and assists between them, and we're not even at the halfway mark. They're one of the most special pairings the Premier League has ever seen, second only to Mike Dean and red cards. There's a number of reasons why Wilder's boys haven't been at it this season, but one huge factor is the loss of Jack O'Connell. It means Spurs will be up against a back five that has been chopped up more times than an onion in Jamie Oliver's kitchen. Ampadu, Egan and Basham are likely to have the unenviable task of stopping Kane and Son. All the best, lads. Quick mention to Arsenal as well. They come up against Newcastle in game week 19, having just beat them in the Cup. It's one win in 19 for the Geordies versus the resurgent Gooners. The perfect game to keep this run going. Aubameyang, Pepe and Lacazette all scored in their 4-0 win at the Emirates in their last league meeting, and so did Ozil actually, which shows how easy they find this one. Transfer ins. Right, let's get to it. 3 names we think you should get in your sides this week. If you're playing Dream Team, remember 2021 brings with it 5 brand new transfers, so get using them now and make some moves in your mini leagues. Michail Antonio. One of the most fascinating transfers of this January transfer window is that of Sebastian Haller to Ajax. It means West Ham's only recognised striker is this man, Antonio. Annoyingly, he's had a stop-start season through injury and has only completed 90 minutes twice in the league. But against Stockport in the Cup, he completed his 3rd full game of the season. That followed 2 consecutive sub-appearances in the league. The Hammers have games against Burnley and West Brom in this double game week, and surely Antonio will start in both. And get this, only 0.4% of you are picking this lad. Phil Foden. It's no coincidence that Man City's recent string of top draw performances have come when this man has been in the side. Now I know City's players are always a tricky one, with Pep's lineups changing more than his jumper selection. But Phil Foden is not just the future, he's the present. His goal and assist for Chelsea looks like it could be a turning point in his season. He followed that up with a goal against Birmingham in the Cup. We recommended KDB last week, but don't hesitate in doubling up on City players, particularly with all the cup competitions they're still in. And remember, Dream Team involves all cup competitions. Patrick Bamford. Now I was very cautious of Bamford at the beginning of the season, considering he'd only scored just over 20 goals in the Championship in the last 2 seasons. But the stats don't lie, he's got 10 in 17 this season and is gliding across that turf at the moment, isn't he? And he's got some pretty informed providers too. Rafinha, Harrison, Rodrigo, even Dallas and Alioski from the fullback areas are getting forward at every opportunity. Predicted 11s. Alright, so you're up to speed with who's available. Let's get some predicted lineups coming your way. Okay, and that's your lot. Just before I leave you, I've got to remind you about our Dream Team fantasy football game. We've got a new and exciting subscription service for you this year called Dream Team Coach. It offers projected scores, fixture difficulty rating, projected price changes, and loads more if you're looking for that extra detail when picking your team. I use it, it is actually very, very good. It's available really easily in the app, and there's a link in the description below. Let us know what you thought of the show in the comments, tell all your mates about us, importantly tell your nan about us. We're working very hard every week to give you the most informative video on the internet for fantasy football. And let us know what your team's going to look like as well. How confident are you ahead of this double game week? Right, that's all from me. I'll see you again next time.